The aviation sector is calling for close collaboration in the development of what is described as vaccine passports, hoping that such documents could promote reopening of international travel following the year-long coronavirus crisis. Vaccine passports have become a hot topic as more potential travelers are immunized against the coronavirus. The documents, also known as digital health passports, have been floated as a means by which governments can safely trust international travelers to enter their borders. This digital passport, which has the backing of the airline's global body, the International Air Transport Association, is a somewhat contentious issue for others. That's our focus again on this edition of Aviation This Week. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Bukola Joe Kitumbi. Let's take to the skies.
Aviation restart is gaining ground as passengers across the world are gradually returning to the skies. No thanks to the coronavirus vaccine. However, many don't want to give the virus a chance to return as new variants are popping up in some areas. One solution that is gaining traction is a vaccine passport, which could allow people to prove they've been vaccinated against COVID-19 in order to return to certain activities, such as flying internationally, attending sporting events, or sending their kids back to school. From the economic point of view, the issuance of a vaccine passport will speed up travel and population flow and benefit vaccine production and tourism. However, others warn about the possibilities of illegal trade of vaccine passports in the market due to lack of effective international policing. First, it was the International Air Transport Association creating a digital passport to verify passengers' pre-travel test or that vaccination meets the requirements of their destination. The AITA Travel Pass has been developed as 4 independent modules that can interact with each other. Now to the US, where United Airlines released a mobile app that allows customers upload test results and vaccine records. The Travel Ready Center also lets flyers review COVID-19 requirements for their destinations and, starting in February, schedule a COVID-19 test at one of more than 15,000 testing sites around the world and have results sent directly via the app to the United Airlines. It appears the European Commission will develop its own vaccine passports. The digital Green Pass will combine information on vaccination, details of any coronavirus tests, and recoveries if in case the person was ill with the virus at some point. In France, the Green Passport is key to the restart of the hospitality sector and tourism sector. For some Spaniards, the digital pass is a form of discrimination. China has launched a digital COVID-19 vaccination certificate for its citizens planning cross-border travel, joining other countries issuing similar documents as they seek ways to reopen their economies. Some Beijing residents remain skeptical about the certification. The certificate issued by China will have details about the holder's COVID-19 vaccination information and coronavirus test results. And now to the middle, where Qatar Airways has been running trials for the AITA Travel Pass digital passport. The Travel Pass has been developed so as to ensure that passengers get all updated information on COVID-19 health regulations for their destination country. Moreover, this app will also provide COVID-19 test results with the airlines in order to verify the flying status of passengers. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization, the WHO, is asking countries to be exceptionally careful regarding vaccination certification.
With regard to what a certification of vaccination can allow you to do, that is at national level or international level, and the use of a certification of vaccination which allows you to travel or allows you to carry out certain activities like attend a restaurant or go to school or attend university. We have to be exceptionally careful, because right now we're dealing with a tremendously inequitous situation in the world, where the likelihood of you being offered or getting a vaccine is very much to do with the country you live in, very much to do with the level of wealth, the level of influence that you or your government has on global markets.
There is also a debate among EU member nations, with some arguing it may be premature to issue such passports, as it's unclear how much protection vaccines give against transmission.
We're grateful to God that IATA, being the global body, they are championing it so that they can restore confidence in the passengers, they can restore confidence in airlines, they can restore confidence in the government, because the government is responsible for the citizens of their country. The airlines want to be sure that they are not transmitting the disease further to other countries, and the passengers want to feel comfortable that while they are on board, they are not exposed to any health hazard. So as it is, IATA is coming up with a lot of initiative, and this initiative will help everyone. That creates a platform where informations are being gathered and it becomes reliable. And it's a digital platform. So the idea of taking my COVID test to the airport for it to be verified whether it's valid or it's not valid becomes completely irrelevant. I, as an airline, just need to visit a particular portal where I can get that information once it is loaded there, and I can rely on it that it is genuine. We won't have a choice, because we will not be operating in isolation. I've had the opportunity of taking the vaccine. Thank you to federal government for that opportunity. And I can say to you that if you've gone through the process of the vaccine, you will understand the effort that is being put into it. There's a digital platform for all those that are taking the vaccine, whereby you are registered, they have all your details, which is being uploaded on a particular platform, your picture, everything is there. And there's a barcode that all they need to do is to scan that barcode, and every information of mine will reveal there whether I've truly taken the vaccine or not. The only thing IATA is trying to do is to create a global platform that will be authentic and reliable for government, passengers, and airlines to key into it. Just for instance now, I'm here selling tickets of different airlines around the world. The airline will not say, oh, they might not even know me in person, but they know that, yes, I'm an IATA agent, I'm registered with them, I'm fulfilling all my obligations. They are relying on the fact that there's a platform which is enabling me to trade. So it might be a little bit difficult before it gets to Africa, but that is what future travel is going to be. And I can say that if not for the pandemic that happened, we might find it difficult for the technology that's been introduced now that simplifies travel going forward. Because if travel is not simplified, it will be difficult for us to go back to where we are before the pandemic. There's absolutely nothing new that is being done. The only difference now is that you are giving it on a different platform. For instance, if I get to Heathrow today, I'm being asked to do my fingerprints. They will take my biometrics. Have I not released that information to them? They will do my eye scan. Have I not revealed information to them? So there are so many other things that are being revealed at the entry border. Willingly, because at that particular point in time, I'm the one that has solicited to go into that particular country. So now creating a platform does not make it any different. Rather, the process has just been simplified. And when the process is simplified, it does not make we, the travelers, vulnerable. And that's the truth. As long as the platform that is being given to us is a secured platform.
Jasiri, Shuja, and Tumaini, they are not humans, but are already playing an important role in curbing the spread of the country's coronavirus epidemic. The 3 glossy white robots made in China and donated by Japan and the United Nations Development Programme have been put to work at Nairobi's main international airport, keeping it disinfected and monitoring arrivals for signs of the virus.
Jasiri's role in this airport is to enhance the safety of international travel. And by that I mean its ability to, 1, take temperature, its ability to sanitize the environment around it, and more importantly for us and for the entire country is the fact that it relays confidence in the safety of air travel.
As Jasiri, a Swahili word meaning brave, does his rounds, he sprays fine jets of sanitizer from containers attached to his sides and takes infrared pictures with a camera mounted on an extendable neck, while scanning hundreds of passengers per minute, and in tone-flat English tells those not wearing face masks to put them on and those standing too close to others to respect social distancing rules.
These smart anti-robotic solutions are envisaged as a measure to mitigate the inherent risks by supporting some of the high-exposure functionalities like temperature screening, mask detection, automatic disinfection, and audio and video broadcasting and conferencing.
Meanwhile, the trio are also helping to curb the spread of an epidemic that has so far killed almost 1,800 and infected more than 100,000 in the East African nation and saving passengers time on arrival formalities.
Welcome to Hotel Sky.
From Kenya Airport to Hotel Sky in Johannesburg's wealthy Sandton district, where all staff adhere to strict COVID-19 protocols, wearing masks and physically distancing from guests as much as possible, except Lexi, Micah, and Ariel. The 3 concierges could not breathe germs on you, even if you wanted them to. Robot hospitality is nothing new. Japanese hotels have been deploying them for years, and in 2015, Tokyo's Hena or Strange Hotel became the first to be fully staffed by droids.
We thought this is a great opportunity for us to do something that has never been done in Africa before. And so we sourced these robots from Sandbot, and then we started to program them and make them African. So yes, this is the very first hotel in Africa that has robots.
Hotel Sky, which launched this year, is the first in Africa to use automated attendants, a concept that could be controversial in a country with one of the world's worst jobless rates, 30.8%, according to President Cyril Ramaphosa's State of the Nation earlier address. Lexi, Micah, and Ariel deliver room service, provide travel information, and can drag up to 300 kilograms of luggage from its marble-floored lobby to the rooms. If the hotel receives a guest at high risk from severe COVID-19 symptoms, the robots could be deployed instead of people as a precaution. CTR Robotics, which supplies the droids, says this is the future.
As you've seen, this whole hotel is teched out, but another layer was to put some sort of automation. And how could we bring robotics into the space? So about a year and a bit ago, just over a year ago, Paul said, I want a robot that can do A and B and C and D, and I wanted to work within into this new flagship space that we're building, Hotel Sky in Sandton. And he kind of gave us this big vision and a brief, and he said, go for it and start building. And pretty much from that day, we started working, and we started pushing these about a few months ago, actually, into the hotel.
While the robots are at work, guests can opt to interact with more traditional staff if they don't want to lose that human touch.
When Aviation This Week returns, our special report is next. Do join us again.
The COVID-19 vaccination passport may be generating a buzz across the world, but British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has said while the benefit of the certificate is important for international travel, it may not be necessary on the domestic scene.
Obviously, we're looking at the issues that are raised by vaccination certification. What can you do? Now, in aviation, clearly there are lots of countries are thinking about using some sort of vaccine passport. And I think that there are three basic components. There's the vaccine, there's your immunity that you might have after you've had COVID, and then there's testing. So there are three things that could work together. No decisions have been taken at all. One thing I will make clear is none of this is obviously going to apply on April the 12th, when it will all be outdoors anyway. So whatever happens, April the 12th will be unaffected.
Earlier, Johnson had suggested some pubs might require customers to produce vaccine documents, but during a visit to a West London nursery, Johnson said the government will say more on the subject in the future.
I think we need to think carefully about the issues. As I've said before, there are lots of difficult issues because there are some people who, who for medical reasons can't get a vaccination. Pregnant women can't get a vaccination at the moment. You've got to be careful about how you do this, and you might need to. You might only be able to implement a thoroughgoing vaccination passport scheme, even if you wanted such a thing, in the context of when absolutely everybody had been offered a vaccine. So there are complexities, moral complexities, ethical problems that need to be addressed, and we'll be saying more about it. But on the international travel side, you can see the arguments.
There is ongoing tension with the European Union on vaccine supplies. Prime Minister Johnson says he is on the side of openness and does not want to see restrictions on the exchange of vaccines with the EU. The EU tightened its oversight of coronavirus vaccine exports, giving it greater scope to block shipments to countries with higher inoculation rates, such as Britain, or which are not sharing doses they produce. From Britain to Israel, where thousands are flocking to shopping malls, city centres, parks and beaches across the country as citizens relax into a Passover much freer of COVID-19 closures than last year. The Jewish holiday celebrates freedom from biblical slavery, and the country's health ministry announced that half of the country had received 2 doses of COVID-19 vaccine. Last year, at Passover, Israel was locked down and families confined to their homes by COVID-19 restrictions. But this year, the mood is very different.
Now I can celebrate in a restaurant with my children and my grandchildren, and we've gone back to a normal life, pretty well almost normally. And we hear that the situation can be a bit more difficult in Europe and in England, and we feel sorry for you, but we are pleased that we made the move to come here.
Look, today it's beautiful. It's just something that, we've been waiting for a long time. We've gone through 3 lockdowns now. There's always a 4th lockdown hanging over us. But, for now, we're enjoying freedom. We're enjoying being out in the sun and just, waiting to go to the beach. And summer is just around the corner. So we're all very excited. But it does feel good. And it's a little bit deceiving, but it feels great. I mean, things are not going to be normal so quickly, but it's the sense of normal that feels good.
I feel safe, I feel good, I feel free, finally.
Israel began easing a nationwide lockdown in late February. Most businesses and schools, as well as airports, have gradually resumed activity with caps on capacity. The fully vaccinated and the around 8.7% of Israelis who have recovered from COVID-19 with presumed immunity are issued with Health Ministry Green Pass certificates that confer access to various leisure venues.
Airlines and leasing firms are rushing to permanently convert old passenger jets into freighters, betting on a boom in e-commerce as the value of used planes tumbles amid the pandemic. This is now creating a huge opportunity for passenger-to-freighter conversion companies, including Singapore Technologies Engineering, Israel Aerospace Industries, and US-based aeronautical engineers. Aviation analytics firm Cirium expects the number of passenger-to-freighter conversions globally will rise by 36% to 90 planes in 2021 and to 109 planes in 2022.
Lately, I believe that the cause is the COVID-19, we figured out that the freighters kept the channel of life in the world, and there was increasing in the demand of conversion. Well, most of the economy now in the world is done by e-commerce.
The P2F conversions are a step beyond the cheaper temporary conversions many airlines have implemented during the pandemic, which remove passenger seats to carry more cargo. Permanent conversions are a financial bet that air freight demand, which was weak before COVID-19, will remain strong for years to come as shoppers turn to e-commerce. The airline industry estimates it will take until 2024 for passenger traffic to recover to 2019 levels.
About 50% of air freight is typically carried by passenger aircraft bellies. As a result of COVID, this capacity has reduced substantially overnight because of the grounding of the fleet, especially the international fleet. As a result, in the last few months, we have seen an increased interest in demand for dedicated freighters. A significant amount of inquiries have come in with regards to our Airbus 320, 321, and 330 passenger-to-freighter conversions. We expect the interest for dedicated freighters to continue to be strong in the coming years because of the decrease in capacity offered by passenger aircraft. In addition, in the existing freighter fleet, there are a number of older aircraft types that are being retired, including the A300 and the Boeing 757.
The conversion boom is also helping aviation maintenance, repair and overhaul groups offset some of the lost business from the decline in passenger flights.
Actually, AITA is leading the conversion wide-body market. In the last years, we operate between 5 to 6 lines of conversion, and we supply conversion accordingly. The increase in the demand will increase the number of lines that we are going to operate. And what we are expecting that this demand will keep our booking till the end of 2022.
Boeing said cargo yields had risen by 40% through September because of the pandemic-related passenger disruptions, and it forecasts more than 60% of freighter deliveries over the next 20 years will be conversions rather than new wide-body freighters like the 777.
This is where our flight lands. It's bye for now. I'm Bukola Joe Oketumbi.